Hi, my name is Caroline Kimani, and first and foremost, I'd like to thank all the Kenyans in the US and Kenyans in Kenya for really supporting us during the unfortunate loss of my mom on November 4th, 2020. We got spiritual, we got emotional and financial help from a lot of Kenyans all over. I remember we got a lot of help, spiritual guidance from Pastor Jacob with Family Church, Pastor Morioki at the Episcopal Church in Missouri. We also got a lot of help from Pastor Gigi with the Kenyan American Community Church. So for those of you who don't know the story, I've been in America now for about 10 years. So my mom used to come and go back. She used to come and visit for at least three times. She's come visited me and then gone back. My sisters are here. I have twin sisters who also live in Atlanta, Georgia. One lives in Sandy Springs and another one lives in Smyrna. So we're basically all here. So my mom was supposed to come visit, just her normal annual visits. Was supposed to come visit her daughters last year. She's supposed to come in May, but unfortunately due to COVID, she wasn't able to come. So we pushed her flight to October. So October 2020, my mom was able to come visit us and spend at least a month with us. But unfortunately, on November 4th, she passed away. Early in the morning when she was living with me in my guest bedroom, she called me like around 3 a.m. in the morning and she told me she was having difficulty breathing. So I called an ambulance, and it's unfortunate because she passed away on the same day. And may God rest her soul. So feeling very sad and in mourning, Kenyans were able to come through, especially Kenyans from church. They were able to help us organize everything. We were able to fundraise and meet our goal. And by November 20th, we were able to transport my mom's remains back to Kenya, and we were able to lay her to rest at our home in Limuru, Kenya. So when my mom was alive, she always made sure that she protected everything around her. My dad had passed a few years back, so she knew the importance of insurance. So she would make sure she has life insurance, she has car insurance, sometimes even her livestock are insured. So she definitely knew the importance of life insurance. And as long as I can remember, my mom has always had life insurance. So she had it with a separate company a few years back. And then her cousin's husband unexpectedly passed away. And when he passed away, the insurance company, he had life insurance, so the insurance company paid out to her cousin a good amount of money. So my mom's cousin was able to take care of everything that was left, whether it's medical bills, debts, and the funeral arrangements. So when my mom saw how flawless and how easy the system was, she moved from her previous insurance company to Jubilee Life Insurance because her cousin introduced her to Jubilee. And she was able to pull more people and recommend Jubilee Insurance in Kenya to even me. I have a life insurance policy with Jubilee. And she was able to mobilize more of a family to get life insurance with them. So when we went back home to lay my mom to rest, her insurance agent was actually at the burial, which was surprising, but because she was a friend of a cousin of my mom, that's how she got the news. And she actually reached out to me and she said my mom had a 3 million life insurance policy and she was paying at least 60,000 Kenya shillings. That equates to about $600 every month. And she also had a second insurance policy, which is called the Family Shield. They call it Kifaru in Jubilee. That's about 50,000. And basically the 50,000 was supposed to be released immediately. Jubilee is notified that my mom had passed away. And of course, when she reached out in December, I asked her about the Kifaru because it hadn't been released in November. And she said she's working on it. So we organized to meet up with her in December, and we do meet up to Rivers in Nairobi. And I asked her very specifically to bring me all insurance documents that my mom signed, and any forms that she should have received from Jubilee. And of course we meet up and she doesn't have any documents. So around January, I text and email her again to send me my mom's insurance documents and all forms that were signed. And again, she doesn't give me anything. So I go to the post office and I get a package of some of the forms that my mom had signed, that my mom she hadn't even signed. It was just some forms in the mail. And I meet up with the insurance agent and she hands me another copy of some documents that were apparently life insurance policies. And none of these had my mom's signature, all this looked brand new. So around early January, again I reach out to the insurance agent and I ask her for my mom's documents and I tell her anything that my mom signed and all the insurance documents that belong to my mom, I need to see them and I need to review them. And then I go to the mailbox and I get mail and I received part of the documents, and these were for the family life shield. Again, my mom had like 3 life insurance policies. So she had a life insurance policy, which Jubilee calls Fanaka, which is the 3 million life insurance. And then she had one that's called the family shield, which is about 50,000. And she had car insurance, and I know she was looking into getting like livestock insurance, but we're not going to talk about that today. So I go to the mail, I get the family shield for the 50,000 documents, and then I meet with the insurance agent and she gives me part of the documents for the family, the Fanaka life insurance policy. So I receive them and I decide to go to Jubilee to pick up all the forms that I need to complete to start the insurance process. And I make sure that I deliver them myself. So I drop them off, I drop all the documents that they asked for and more. So because Jubilee Insurance asked for it, I had to have my mom's death certificate, which was issued here in Georgia, translated to a Kenyan death occurring in abroad certificate. So at least she had 2 death certificates, one that can be interpreted in Kenya and one that was definitely issued in America. I completed all the bank transfer information, made sure the banks notarized and signed on the bank statements for my sisters and I delivered a complete package, one for Kifaru and one for Fanaka. I completed these 2 packages and delivered them myself at Jubilee. So around late January, I received a text on my mom's phone that they've received everything. Everything was completed and they've received it and it's been processed. And the only question I have is, why are they texting someone who's dead on their phone instead of texting the dependents? But anyway, that was not a red flag for me, but it should have been at the very beginning. So I received the text and I'm appreciative that they've received everything and I don't need to go back there. So I wait January, I wait in February, I wait in March, and then around March I reach out to Jubilee through email and I ask them, how far is my mom's life insurance policy? How far has it reached for both the Kifaru and the Fanaka? And she reaches out to me, the customer service, and they tell me, oh, we're missing the death certificate. And by now, remember, in January, I had attached 4 death certificates, 2 with each policy. So I scan the death certificates again and I email them to them. So March passes, I don't hear from them. April passes, and around May, I start to hear back from them. And one of the agents who was the claims agent who was assigned my mom's case starts communicating to me, and he starts basically just asking for all the documents I've already submitted in January. So he asks for a cover letter from the certifying hospital that my mom really did pass away at their hospital. He asks for my mom's medical checkups, both in America and in Kenya. He asks for her travel documents. He asks what certain terminologies on the death certificate mean, the death certificate from America, what the terminologies mean, and if I can get a medical professional to explain it to them. And by now, I'm starting to ask myself whether they're doubting if my mom's death was suicide or if it was real. And because the insurance agent was definitely present from Jubilee at my mom's burial. So I comply and I get them the cover letter from the hospital. I try and get as much explanations about what the different terminologies of the death certificate mean. And I have this package back to Jubilee. But of course, I'm missing some of the medical records, and I'm missing, they also wanted a doctor in Kenya to certify that my mom passed away, that they witnessed my mom pass away. So I reached out to Aga Khan, which was the primary hospital that my mom went to. And of course, no doctor would certify that they witnessed my mom pass away when they actually did. So that was very hard to get, and I tried to explain it to them. But in July, they sent me a bunch of forms, and not even receiving all the documents that they asked for. And they basically told me that they've already made a decision, and they have a proposal form of how much the family should receive, the dependents. And I sit down and I'm reviewing the whole package that they emailed us in July. And I start to notice some inconsistencies and some things that didn't quite align with what I expected. And number one, it was the signatures. And my mom's signatures didn't look like they were hers. One looked like it wasn't hers at all, and another one looked like it was transposed from one form to another form. And I knew they weren't my mom's signatures because my mom always taught me from a very young age to always sign and date. Always date next to your signature. When you sign, especially a very official document. I would know my mom's signature because on November 3rd, I was with her and she signed a document for my uncle for her family business, for their family business. So I still have that fresh signature, and she actually dated it on a blank piece of paper. So I knew how my mom's current signature looked like. So I'm looking through the documents that they emailed me in July, and it's funny because the intake form was signed on November 4th, 2020 by my mom. And the insurance agent also signed the intake form on November 4th, 2020. So that definitely raises a red flag for me. Because how does a dead person sign? My mom was nowhere in Kenya. My mom's body was in America. By then she'd already passed away. So definitely she did not sign those documents. And I continued to review the policy documents that they sent me. And there was a form that's called a lien option. So apparently the lien option is a form that waives your rights to medical checkups. So the lien option was signed on January 6th. It was printed on January 6th by Jubilee, and the signing officer in Jubilee also signed it on January 6th. So by now you should, if you're following my story, you should understand that things just don't happen the same day with Jubilee Insurance. They take at least a week or 2 weeks, or right now 12 months. So that already was very suspicious for me, because I knew exactly where my mom was on January 6th, and she was nowhere near Nairobi or Kiambu or Limuru. So that again was fraud. I knew for sure she did not sign those documents. So basically what the lien option says is, because she's waived her rights, you're not going to get the full 3 million, and instead you're going to get 500,000. So that was the offer that they were giving us. And then on top of that, they say when you get the 500,000, we'll have, because that's the sum assured for 1 year, you'll have to pay her life insurance policies for November and December. And I'm looking at the forms and I'm asking myself, why are we paying my mom's life insurance policy for November and December if she died on November 4th? And her insurance was due like November 6th. Why are we paying a dead person's life insurance? Again, that also didn't add up. So I hired someone who can read signatures. They can compare a signature and compare it with their handwriting. And they can be able to tell whether that's actually the person who signed, the actual person signed it, or if someone else signed it on their behalf. Just for paperwork process, and just so that someone else, a third party, can look at it and see that this is wrong. And of course, I'm still waiting for the results, but I already know what they'll be. So we've been waiting for a while. Now it's been 12 months since I've heard back from Jubilee. So last month, that was September, I reached out to them and I asked them about the Kifaru life policy, which is 50,000, that's supposed to be released immediately upon notification that the person insured has passed away. I reached out to them and they sent me a form to complete for my ETF for the funds transfer. And I'd already completed this in January. So they sent me again. They took at least a week to even send it to me. So I completed it in September and I haven't heard back from them through email, or I haven't received anything from them yet. So again, that also raises a bit of red flags. It's 12 months and we still haven't received or gotten any explanations about any of this. And I am in constant communication with them. I ask questions, I rarely get answered. I ask for forms, they rarely respond back. And the general manager who's in charge of claims department is being CC'd in all these emails, but still nothing is happening. So I sit with the insurance, I try to talk to the insurance agent, and she says that my mom's life insurance was basically, it was just a savings account. And I'm like, no, life insurance and a savings account are two completely different things. And my mom would know, and she'd understand that because she had savings accounts with a Kenya Commercial Bank, with Cooperative, with a SACCO, and it doesn't work like that. And just when I'm talking about life insurance, she also had a life insurance with her SACCO, the one she has with the farmers and the dairy, the Kiamba dairy. And she also had a 50,000 policy. And for us to get that, we only had to give them the death certificate. We didn't even give them the one that was issued by Kenya. We just gave them the one from here. And like the next week, they gave us the 50,000. So definitely that goes to show you that not all the companies in Kenya, there is definitely fraud and forgery that happens. And sometimes it's even with the big companies and not the small circles, the small farmers, and it's actually the big companies that we need to watch out for. So my message is to hear back from Jubilee and to know exactly what's going on, and hopefully I get a response from them soon. And to also create awareness to all Kenyans and all Africans that it's really, really hard, no matter how much you try when you're alive, to make sure that you have everything in order and you plan your life. You get life insurance so that your family doesn't have to incur so much debt, and everything has been paid for the burial and all the expenses have been paid for after you're dead. It's really, really hard to do that because the insurance companies will fail you, like they failed us, like they failed my mom and they failed us right now. So just be careful out there. Get all the forms that you sign and get your medical checkups as much as you can. Thank you for watching.